All right. Hello, this is Janna Shah Media. I'm Janna Shah. Today I'm here with Brandon Stevenson, and he is going to be talking to us about aliens. So, Brandon, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me what your position is in this film.
Awesome. And first of all, thank you so much for having me and thank you for reaching out. So I am actually an actor from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I just recently moved to Atlanta to expand my career. However, upon that experience within my career, I've been tossing around like, what else can I do in this industry? Right. And so I'm a great storyteller. I know how to connect with people. And so directing kind of fell into my lap this way. And I've just been taking inspiration at what's happening in real life. So that's kind of how aliens fell into my lap because it's a reflection of the our nation and our world right now.
Perfect. So, what's your role? So, I know you already said you're directing in
Yep.
Aliens. What else are you doing? What is Aliens if we go a little bit deeper into it as a concept?
Okay. Yeah. So I will say also, because we are an indie film team, I kind of do have many different hats. I'll be playing producer sometimes, reaching out to different people, emailing as well. But I do have a small team behind me as well. So my role would look kind of like different from day to day. However, Aliens is not just a short film, but it is a reminder, truly, but in video format, I will say, that we're putting into a film. Um, we are seeing people get treated and talked about like they are extraterrestrials, and we are watching the dehumanization of them right in front of our eyes. And so this film is a culmination and just a reminder, telling the story of these communities to say like this is not right, and no matter what we have, whether you're born somewhere different, whether you have a different skin color, whether your status is different. We cannot be treating each other like this. We should not be treating each other like this. History has shown us time and time again. This is a tale as old as time, yet we are willingly and ignorantly walking and taking the same path, right? So with this film, I believe that it will be a beautiful reminder to people that, hey, like, we can't keep doing this, right? And we have to stop this now because the longer that we allow this evil to run rampant, the more that it's going to be normalized,
Yeah.
right?
Beautiful. Thank you. So before we go
Yeah.
back to specifically aliens, can you tell me a little bit about making an indie film? Like kind of the process
Yeah,
and everything?
most definitely. So, it is, first of all, let me just say it's a whirlwind. It is a whirlwind. So before this, I like to think of filmmaking akin to the serving industry, right? So before I moved to Atlanta, classic actor story, becoming a server on his way up to, on his way to his dreams. And filmmaking is just a lot of communicating and community, right? Relying on other people because like I moved to Atlanta and like for instance I was doing whatever student film that I could do for somebody for free. That looks different for everybody. Sometimes it's working 3 days no pay, long hours, just to do what you got to do. But now the beautiful thing about it is now that I have a project, I can call upon all those people that I've experienced, right? I can, hey, you were great with a camera. I need you right now. Hey, you know what? I know you were great with sound. I need you right now. And now we can all come together to tell this beautiful, impactful story. So filmmaking is just this beautiful, dynamic trial and error. Um, honestly, truly spiritual experience. But it is very collaborative as well. I will say. But yes, I apologize if I don't know if I kind of answered that a little indirectly.
No, no. Perfect. Perfect answer. Seems very fun, very tricky, but very rewarding in the end.
Yes, most definitely. And the reason I can into it like serving a lot is again, you have to interact with a lot of people. There are going to be mistakes, there are going to be slip ups, and this is my first time directing. So, a film set is not again like foreign to me, but stepping into this role of kind of compiling it all and being the showrunner of it definitely is. Again, I'm used to just looking pretty and then them calling action and then we get this thing going. But now I'm the one calling action and having to call people and do. I will say I am excited to get to sets. I'm a very hands-on creative person. I'm working on the whole like paperwork aspect of it all. So this is me a lot for sure, for sure.
Perfect. So Are there any like specific challenges so far that maybe you've faced on set?
Yeah, let me think. So the biggest thing that I have noticed on set, as far as challenges go, would just be communication, right? On set, every second counts, every moment matters, right? Because a lot of times you're paying for the location and you only have it for a certain amount of time, or
Mm-hmm.
you have so many shots that you have to try to do and cram into again whatever time frame you have. So I will say that the biggest thing that I've noticed, challenge wise would just be communication because every set is different.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like on it, you're in and out, everybody knows what's happening. But then other places, sometimes it can feel a little bit more disconnected, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that might also boil down to preparation. So
That's
that
true.
that's where I'm trying to like kind of draw back on my experiences from what I've learned on sets and go, okay, I know this set was a little bit more chaotic because like maybe this department didn't communicate this way. So I'm gonna try to make sure not that I won't run into those problems, but making sure that if we do, then it won't be as big of a problem to begin with.
Yeah, that reflection is so important, and communication is always dire in anything you're doing.
Yes.
So, going back to Alien specifically, obviously all titles have a lot of significance, and I know Aliens, the name has a lot of significance. So, can you share that with us?
Yes, most definitely. Um, First, the story kind of came first because I just wanted to tell the story of a family, right? Just an ordinary family, because to me, that's what I see happening. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see the oh, you didn't do this process right, and da, 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 da. I see a mother getting ripped from her child. I
Mm-hmm.
see a dad getting ripped from his family,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so Aliens begun with me just wanting to tell the story of a family because
Mm-hmm.
families are being ripped apart. That's just what's happening, point blank and period.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started to witness the language that was being used around these families, these human beings, these people that are like you and me, but just different. Being different is a fundamental, innate thing that is given to all of us, and it is a gift, right? But right now, it is being weaponized and it is being attacked. And so I'm watching in the media other human beings get called aliens, right? Illegal aliens, this, illegal alien, that, illegals out. And when I think of an alien, I don't think of a human being. When I think of an alien, I think of a green Martian who just hopped out of a UFO and is probably making crop circles in somebody's farm, picking up their cows. That's what I think alien. I don't know how people have just, overnight lost their empathy and, have, again, weaponized their differences to where now alien has been akin to a human being that's just from a different place than you.
Yeah.
And we have seen through history's journal how devastating and how dangerous that language is.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can look at another human being and be othered. There's no reason for me to feel bad for you or feel bad for your situation because you're other than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, we bleed the same color, right? Regardless of our differences, we share the same sky, we share the same planet. And so that's where Aliens comes from. Its title is because it's a play on the word alien. Because when you first think of it, you might go, oh, like this is a film about aliens. And you go, no, this is a film about what happens when we treat people like they are.
And that's really beautiful. It really is. So thank you so much for
Thank
sharing that.
you,
Um,
of course.
is there any specific instances that you saw that really stuck with you or that like specifically inspired the movie or kind of helped spark the idea for like, you know what, like this is what I want to create. This is what I want.
I will say it was almost like an amalgam and a compilation of moments because, so for one, there was a little boy who immigration agents had like lured out or basically had like taken to try to lure the parents out essentially. And his name was Liam, and he was just this adorable little innocent boy, right? That these people were using to try to like take his parents away. And I just this image, like I will never get that image of him burned out in my mind, right? And thinking and putting myself in his shoes of these children being
Mm-hmm.
like, what is going on? What's happening to my parent, right? acting like these people are criminals. When we see, also the thing that makes me so passionate about this project is we're treating, these families like they're criminals and things, when there are people who are in power who are criminals, who there's nothing being.
Yeah.
So to see people who are not criminals get treated so inhumanely just blows my mind. But I'll say Liam's case for sure was one that stuck with me. Of course, Keith Porter, Alex Preddy, Renee Good, just seeing people being brutalized in real time before us. I think this film also is a reflection to me of how jarring it is as a person of color, because a lot of my identities, I'm a Black, gay man of color, Latino man, so a lot of my identities at any given day is a headline. You know what I mean? If it's not gay people under attack, a Black person got stopped by the cops, somebody getting stopped or shot by ICE, So I'm finally just sitting here going, like, I don't want to sit here and just feel miserable. I want to do something with this. And I believe that art is rebellious. It should be rebellious. It should be uncomfortable, and it should reflect the times. And even in a time where we are so heavily censored, we should still be pushing to tell these stories and be pushing to make people uncomfortable, because it's also uncomfortable to be seeing our brothers and sisters get slain in the street every day.
Definitely. And it's so important to turn that anger into passion. So it's wonderful that you turn that into art. I think that's the issue. We have a lot of anger. We don't know where to put it.
Yes.
Or we have anger as it's in the headlines and then it fizzles out. We need things that are long lasting, that are going to keep showing people and reminding people, because social justice issues are not trends. A person's life is not a
No,
trend.
and we shouldn't have to wait for a human life to be lost for that fire to be reignited, right? Because it feels like we do this time and time again, where it's like somebody gets lost, we get fired up, but then we lose traction because we get comfortable and we have these things distracting us. Like, no, we need a life should not be lost for us to be reminded of its value to begin with, right?
So I guess I'm jumping a little bit forward with this question, but I just think it's good with the conversation we're having now. What's your like? What would you advise someone who maybe has that same passion and that same anger that wants to channel it into viable action? What would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
My advice, especially as an overthinker, you have to do something. You have to do something. Even if you are in that space of I don't know what to do, putting what you potentially want to do on paper is something, is an action, right? Because the antidote to overthinking is action. Shout out to Ms. Lisa Nichols. However, we struggle and we like to stay in our mind all the time, right? But this is something that if it's something that actually moves you, then it has no other choice but to move on to paper, right? There's a ton of things that I've wanted to do and a lot of things that meant a lot to me. But this, I cannot let it literally has like consumed me like a mad scientist. I wake up every day thinking about this film or the story or who to outreach to, or so my advice would be to do something. Don't let that restlessness and that resentment and that anger just sit and fester. It needs to go out to some, because you will probably create some of your best work with it.
I agree with that. Anger really fuels action, and I think more people
And
need to
like
get.
motivator. I'm not like, sometimes people think like I'm a very active person. I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym because I'm trying to be like Rachel Ray. I have this beautiful, healthy lifestyle. I'm just a very spiteful person. Like,
That's very relatable. I'm not gonna lie.
like gotta sometimes you gotta use spite. It can take you very far.
Exactly. You just need to know how to handle the emotion, channel it to good.
Exactly, exactly.
So going a little bit back now, to aliens, are there any little? I know you've kind of shared a bit. Is there any like a synopsis or any little details that you are, if you're not comfortable, completely okay, but that you could share with us now, maybe?
Yeah, most definitely. So, just like a short synopsis that I can share is that this film does follow the Rodriguez family as they live their day to day, through and while an immigration crackdown is happening in the world around them, and how they try to navigate a world that treats them as anything but human, hence aliens.
Beautiful. Thank you. I know that
Or
I've seen online that you guys are doing crowdfunding. So can you tell me a little bit about how you guys are receiving funding for the movie? Ugh, sorry, movie. I know there's a deadline and stuff. So tell me about that.
yeah, most definitely. So we have opened our crowdfunding. The link is in our Instagram bio. You're going through Seed and Spark. The way crowdfunding works is also was a little bit of a shock to me because it's not something like a GoFundMe where I think whatever you raise you automatically get. We do have to hit 80% of our goal in order to get those funds.
Really?
Right now, we are actually at 47%. So we are in a good place, but any type of donation, any type of support, visibility on this project really, really does help. We have about 26 or 25 days left in the campaign to hit that goal. We did run a 45-day campaign, so we're about hitting the halfway mark, but we also are at about more than halfway for our goal.
Perfect. So I
Mhm.
actually saw this on your story, I think the other day, with your Facebook account getting taken down. And I know that we were talking a little bit about this before. What issues
Yes.
have you faced with social media platforms and censorship about this topic?
It is. Say, I'm like, do I need to start speaking in Egyptian hieroglyphics? Because the way that, like, this is the land of the free. So here I am speaking the truth, and it's like it'll just get stopped before it even gets up off the ground.
Mhm.
I will say it has been a challenge, especially on certain platforms. I've noticed that anytime I mention, even when I'm very vague about the film, I'm just making a film about a Latino family and what is happening right now. They'll kind of like tap the views. I noticed that it's not really going anywhere.
Mhm.
Um, I was marketing it on Facebook the other day, and my whole account had got suspended. And because the film account was linked to that, the film account Instagram had gotten suspended. Which I'm glad it wasn't my original account because then I would have been really in a position because my main account is how I've been advertising for this film.
Mhm. I know the censorship epidemic is it's very sad.
It's 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 crazy to see in real time. Like there was one that I had posted, so to try in order to boost, I have an alternate account, which is the Aliens film account. I had made a video talking about the film and went to go check on it on the alternate account. The
Mhm.
video just was not there. Even though I had posted it, it was just like
Really?
not showing up on the profile. And I was like, this is such a weird what are you talking about? What? Like I posted the video. How is it just not here? So it's just like it's just insane to see how the truth can be stopped in real time, and
Mhm.
also how the truth can be configured
Yeah.
into a different narrative.
It's very sad to see how many of our big platforms are being pushed with narratives and funded by people with narratives that go against the truth.
Exactly, exactly. Especially when we, have prided ourselves so long for being, a nation of not those things, right? Or especially accusatory of other nations of such things that we are doing right in front of our own faces, right?
Hmm. Thank you. So for the movie, I guess this is a kind of a two-parter. So, what do you want viewers to take away after watching Aliens? And are there any questions or anything, well, yeah, that you would want a viewer to kind of ponder on? And what action do you want viewers to take after watching the film?
Okay. So I will say the thing that I would want them to take away from the film is again just a reminder that no matter how different people are from you, that's your brother, that's your sister. You know what I mean? That's how we have to start acting, right? We have to
Mm-hmm.
also be honest about the ways that people have hurt communities. We can't just act like there isn't pain in the Black community because of history, in the Latino community because of history, right? Because acting like history hasn't happened builds resentment. When you don't have conversations, that's when resentment builds because the truth is never exchanged, never exposed. I would love people to get to see this and also get a little bit more active in their own community, right? It doesn't. You also rebellion and protesting all these different things looks different for everybody. Some people are on the front lines. Some people are making art. Some people are healing. Whatever it is, though, but you do have to do something. You can't just be thinking about what you're going to do, right? Mm-hmm. You can't be thinking about thinking, because then no action gets done. And I apologize. I think I missed one question. I did what they wanted to take away and what I wanted them to feel, I believe.
You already kind of answered it, like the action you would want people to take. Kind of already got that though. So
awesome, perfect.
So where can Aliens be found, like when it comes out? Also, when's the date that you have, release date?
Yeah. So right now I kind of have some tentative dates, just because initially my schedule was a little more dependent on we had a scene or a couple scenes out of school, so our schedule was a little bit dependent on like if we were able to use a public school. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of thinking already filming in summer. However, our principal photography dates of shooting should be around, I believe, September to October. I would ideally love to have the film out by November to December and take it on a film festival route, and then eventually release it on whatever platforms that looks like, whether that is YouTube. Probably I'm meaning for gunning for YouTube first, but we'll also see where it goes and what happens. You never know. Maybe we get picked up funding and then this turns into a feature film.
You never know. Hopefully.
Exactly.
So I guess that's kind of the end of my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the film, about you, social justice, just anything else that you kind of want to leave off on, any other conversations that you want to have, or anything you think that I missed that you really think is important?
So far, I'm gonna be off bat. Let me just say no. Let me say that you are very wonderful, very, very wonderful. So I let you know that. Make sure that you continue the work that you are doing, and I know you said this is maybe your first video interview, but I would never know that. So I appreciate that. I can tell that you actually took the time to like sit and look at what we're working on, and you're asking these questions with intention and with care, and that really, really means a lot to me, especially because of all the work that I put into the project. But just as a fellow creative, it's always nice to see somebody doing what they're doing and putting that intention into it. So no, I think that you covered everything beautifully. And so again, I just thank you for seeing this vision and for pouring into it for me. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And also, that's exactly how I felt seeing your work. Like I said, I came across your work just scrolling on Reels, and I saw the message, and I honestly fell in love. It's such an important thing, and it's always so great to see people. I always see people kind of just talk about being angry about something and just kind of partake in things. And I think it's so important that, sometimes I know being a follower is a lot easier, but being a leader is where it's at.
You have to, but that maybe, okay, there is maybe one thing that I just wanted to add. I don't think it's something that you missed, mm-hmm. but it does kind of just add a tangent onto what I was saying, kind of a two-part of what I want people to kind of take away and do, but also a challenge of filmmaking as well. That one challenge that I did find is that when I was reaching out to people to crowdfund for the film, I was just like, hey, I know times are tough, so I just need $1 from you, right? And so there are a lot of people that, even though people want to act very like rah about social justice, when I came to them and said, hey, here I am doing something and making something for this, it seemed like then it fell flat. And it's like, don't just hollow care about these things. If you care about these things, genuinely care about them. And it's not saying that just because they didn't donate to the film that they didn't, but there were people that didn't even like give it the time of day. Not like, this is a great vision, this is where you could go, nothing like that. So if you care about these things, pour into them and pour into the people who are also doing things. They're trying to raise awareness around it. Because like you said, it's not easy to be a leader and talk about these things. A lot of these conversations are considered to be like buzzkills or whatever in your social circles. But it's like, how do you, like, having fun and being distracted is great, but at some point we have to talk about the world. We have to be serious. We have to get things done. I saw this video once, this beautiful young woman who was speaking out about what's happening, and she's like, "Do you think I want to care about what's happening right now? No, I would love to not care, but we don't have that choice.
Mm-hmm.
We are at the point where we do not have the choice to turn a blind eye to things, because you can run from it as much as you want, but one day it will come for you. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like, it may not be in your neighborhood now, but one day it will be, you know? So we've all read that poem about they came for this person and then that person or whatever. So make sure that you do something and don't just share it on social media just because you want to look like you, care about people. Get out, do stuff,
Exactly.
make things.
I think that's the issue. We just become so selfish, and I think within that, people again they don't realize, and then they only care when it impacts them. So thank you so much for using your platform to just really show people the truth of what's happening, and I especially think the dynamic of just using a singular family is very really is going to make people reflect and kind of put themselves in like, what if that was my family? And you know what, soon it might be your family because they're not stopping
Exactly.
anytime soon.
That's what I mean. And I just don't understand how people think like these distant things. If a certain group of people can be treated as other and be excused as something as less than human beings, nobody is left off the table, love,
Mm-hmm.
because they're human beings just like you. It's just a matter of time till it's your turn, Like, but we should not even we shouldn't be, that should not even be a thing. Again, we're all human, right? And that's also the most infuriating thing. This is very elementary style thinking. Children know this. Why do adults not understand this? Right?
Exactly. Thank you, Brandon, so much for sitting down with me today. I hope I cannot wait to see where the film goes. You guys better come to the Toronto Film Festival. I will be there. I'll be watching. I'll be cheering you on front row.
Please. Please, I'll just know that I'll be a blubbering mess, blubbering, because this is my baby. So again, I thank you again for seeing the vision, taking the time out of your day to speak with me. If there's any questions or anything that you need from me at all, please let me know. And as soon as you're ready to put anything out, just let me know and invite me as a collaborator, and we will get this going and we will send it out to the world.
Of course. Thank you. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna